On June 15th, 2022, I faced my mortality in a shocking car accident that led me to meet Jesus and unveil disturbing truths about the false prophet. This encounter transformed my life, revealing the deception lurking in our faith. Stay tuned. Together, we'll illuminate the hidden truths that could ensure your spiritual safety. At 39, I felt lost. My faith had been shaken by life's difficulties, from mounting stress at my job to turmoil in my relationships. As I navigated through familiar streets, I found myself lost in thought, not realizing how quickly life can shift. Little did I know that just moments from now, I would face my mortality in a car accident that would lead me to meet Jesus and unravel a truth beyond anything I could have imagined. What happened next changed everything for me, and I invite you to continue on this journey and witness the turning point in my life. The drive was routine, the kind of evening where my thoughts could wander like the dimming sun in the rearview mirror. Suddenly, everything changed. A reckless driver swerved into my lane. My heart raced as I jerked the wheel, trying to avoid a collision. It all happened in a heartbeat, yet time stretched out in that moment, an eternity held in a single breath. And then, the impact. It was a thunderous, bone-chilling crash that felt like the world around me crumbled in an instant. I recall the details rushing back like a stark, cold reality. It was 7:15 p.m. on June 15th. My car spun out of control, and just like that, everything went black. I had no idea at that moment what was happening around me. Paramedics later reported that I was clinically dead for over 6 minutes. 6 minutes, an entire lifespan compressed into a singular event. As I slipped away, I experienced something curious. Panic fluttered in my chest at first, but soon gave way to an odd tranquility. I felt this disconnection from my body, as if I was floating of it all. And then there was this euphoric lightness, like the tension of the world was simply melting off my shoulders. All the weight, anguish, and endless questions faded into a warm embrace that I never expected to feel in a moment so perilous. It was in that profound darkness that I found myself transported to a realm filled with unimaginable light, something that defied all logic and reason. Though I couldn't grasp it fully then, it was a glimpse into a reality that would challenge everything I thought I understood about existence. What I saw next was beyond description. I was in a tranquil, radiant landscape. Colors I have never seen before, vibrant and shimmering, with a sky that felt alive, pulsing with energy. I could hardly believe my eyes, and yet a sense of familiarity washed over me, as if I had come home to a place I did not know I had lost. And then, there he was, Jesus, standing before me, radiant and inviting, a presence that drew me in like a moth to a flame. As I took in his figure, I felt an overwhelming sense of love and safety enveloping me. I did not have to hide my fears or worries. It was as if all my burdens melted away the moment I stepped into this light. My chaotic thoughts and self-doubt seemed insignificant in that space. It was as if he knew every struggle I had faced, every question I had asked in the quiet of my heart. When Jesus spoke, it was not just with words. It was a deep communication that resonated with my very essence. He looked right into my soul and said, "Jonathan, you are here for a reason. Your struggles have purpose." The weight of my worries, the darkness I had been wrestling with, suddenly seemed purposeful. Each hardship I had faced crystallized into this moment of clarity, giving meaning where there had been confusion. Later, I would learn from medical records that my heart had stopped beating for several minutes during this encounter. It is surreal to think about how I was both here in this divine realm and not at all in the world I had known. But amidst this divine connection, something darker began to unfold, a revelation that would forever alter my understanding of the world. In an instant, I felt an overwhelming tide of clarity wash over me as Jesus communicated the concept of the false prophet. It was more than just words. It felt like I was being handed a secret of the universe, something that tugged at the very essence of my understanding. I could sense the gravity of this revelation. This wasn't just a warning. It was a call to heed the signs hidden under layers of deception. Suddenly, the imagery Jesus presented became vivid and haunting. I envisioned figures cloaked in charisma, weaving through crowds, their smiles disarming. They manipulated the masses, spreading messages that drifted further from the truth, twisting and diluting the core tenets of faith I once held dear. The charm of their charisma was disconcerting, like the gentle tug of a false light, leading unsuspecting souls into deeper darkness. Every image struck me hard. A surge of fear and confusion washed over me, my heart racing with questions. Who could I trust in a world so rife with misleading voices? The very foundations of my faith seemed to tremble, and I felt adrift in a sea of uncertainty. Each revelation tugged at my mind, prompting me to search deeper within myself and reflect on the narratives I had trusted. Jesus warned me of the faint signs to recognize this false prophet. He conveyed that manipulation would often begin subtly, presented as an attractive offering, wrapped in righteous messaging. I could feel the concern in his voice, and it echoed in my heart. How easy it would be to be drawn in, to mistake a sweet facade for genuine truth. It left me feeling vulnerable, grappling with the realization that even those closest to me could be unwittingly complicit in a grand deception. But as the experience unfolded, the most chilling part lay ahead. Warnings about the near future that seemed poised to shake our very foundations. There was a sense of urgency in his words, something I couldn't ignore. I could feel the weight of these implications resting heavily on my shoulders, and I sensed that this was just the beginning of something profound. As I stood before Jesus, a sense of urgency enveloped me, unlike anything I had ever experienced. He began to share a troubling vision of the future, a glimpse that sent chills down my spine. I watched in disbelief as society, almost gleefully, embraced the agenda of the false prophet, believing it was for their benefit. There were grand rallies filled with fervent crowds, chants echoing around me, souls lost in an intoxicating optimism, while veering dangerously close to deception. He spoke of societal shifts, explaining that the transformation would unfold in phases, some starting within the next 2 years. It felt surreal to witness this chaotic emergence of twisted ideologies, masquerading under the guise of enlightenment. My heart sank as the weight of this revelation settled in. How could the world be so easily misled? I whispered, grappling with the sense of helplessness that washed over me. The visceral anxiety of understanding the depth of the manipulation was overwhelming. I thought of those I loved, those who might follow blindly, and my heart ached for those who wouldn't see the truth. Each vivid image painted by Jesus detonated questions deep within. What was I supposed to do with this knowledge? I could feel the conflict churning inside me, a storm of doubt and fear. What do I do now? I wondered, as these massive truths unraveled everything I thought I knew about faith and spirituality. It was a chaotic fusion of clarity and confusion, as if I was being torn between worlds. But then, piercing through my whirlwind of thoughts, Jesus' voice guided me with steadfast assurance. This revelation wasn't just a forewarning, it was a call to action. I realized that it was my responsibility to become a beacon of truth, to help others recognize the deception poised to engulf them. I felt the gravity of this message settle in my heart. This was bigger than me, and while it filled me with trepidation, there was also a spark of clarity urging me forward. The urgency to awaken others resonated like a heartbeat, and despite my fear, I knew I couldn't turn away from this responsibility. And so, as the vision began to dissolve, I stood on the precipice of a new understanding, ready to embrace whatever it meant to weave this unsettling knowledge into my life. I sensed that what lay ahead was both daunting and crucial, leading me closer to the purpose I needed to embrace. When I finally opened my eyes back in the hospital, everything felt different. It wasn't just the sterile smell of antiseptic or the faint beeping of machines. It was something deeper. I had faced a fork in the road, returned to my previous life, filled with uncertainty and confusion, or embrace this newfound understanding and responsibility that burned brightly within me. What Jesus revealed to me wasn't just a moment of insight. It sparked a fire in my soul, a commitment to discernment, to awaken others from a spiritual slumber where the stakes couldn't be higher. I knew too well the dangers that lurked in the shadows, the gentle pull of misleading teachings disguised as truth. With every fiber of my being, I felt alive with purpose, determined to prevent others from being led astray by the charm of deception. I want to share some practical advice that might help you navigate your own path. I encourage each of you to explore your beliefs deeply. Don't accept doctrines without question. Challenge everything. Seek clarity, and always test teachings against what you know to be true. Don't shy away from those uncomfortable questions that surface in your heart. Ask them. Let them guide you to a stronger foundation. Know that it's okay to doubt, to seek, to wander in search of what resonates with your spirit. If this experience resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe, like, and share this video with those who could benefit from this revelation. Together, we can create a community dedicated to nurturing truth and defending it against the tides of misinformation. May your path be illuminated by truth and love, and may we all work towards a brighter, more discerning future together. Can you feel that call within you? Let us respond to it and walk forward hand in hand, awakened and vigilant.